Cowboys Nation, buckle up, because we are standing on the edge of something massive. The season is hanging in the balance. With a 3-4-1 record, our Dallas Cowboys are staring down a crossroads, and the next few days could define not just the rest of this season, but possibly the entire future of this team. This is Dallas Game Day, and we're bringing you the most important update yet. The loss to the Denver Broncos in Week 8 wasn't just a bad game. It was a wake-up call, a brutal, unforgiving slap-in-the-face reminder that championship windows don't stay open forever. That 44-24 embarrassment exposed every flaw we've tried to ignore. And fans, we're tired of excuses. It's time for bold moves. It's time for action. Let's be real. Dallas is fielding one of the worst defenses in the entire league. Let that sink in. A franchise known for legends like DeMarcus Ware, Charles Haley, and Darren Woodson is now dead last in passing defense, allowing nearly 300 yards per game through the air. We're 32nd, bottom of the league. The pass rush, practically non-existent with just 5 sacks on the year. The once proud star is fading, and unless something changes immediately, we're wasting another elite offensive season from Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens. Here's the good news. Jerry Jones is aware, and he's reportedly willing to do what it takes. With the NFL trade deadline looming on Tuesday, November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern, the Cowboys are actively exploring options to inject life into this flailing defense. And we've got the scoop on one move that could change everything. Enter Will McDonald IV. Yes, Cowboys Nation, the buzz is growing. The 2023 first-round pick of the New York Jets is becoming a hot target, and for good reason. Despite a quieter 2025 season, McDonald is only 24 years old, and his rookie campaign showed flashes of a dominant edge rusher in the making. We're talking 10.5 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, and 24 QB hits last year. That's elite production. That's a future star. The Jets, sitting at 0-7 and already shipping off veterans, are in full rebuild mode. New leadership, a changing culture, and most importantly, they didn't draft McDonald, making him expendable. This is where Dallas can swoop in and make a high-upside, low-cost investment. Here's the rumored trade. Cowboys receive edge Will McDonald IV. Jets receive 2026 second-round pick and 2027 fourth-round pick. That's it, 2 picks. And what do we get in return? A dynamic pass rusher on a rookie contract with upside to become a defensive cornerstone. His cap hits are incredibly friendly, just $4.5 million in 2025 and $5 million in 2026, meaning we can keep building this roster around our core stars without blowing the cap. But it's more than just numbers. It's what McDonald represents. He brings explosiveness off the edge, unmatched bend, and an attitude this defense desperately needs. Pair him with Osa Odigizua, and suddenly that front starts to feel dangerous. Imagine quarterbacks having to worry again. Imagine offenses adjusting protection schemes because of the pressure we're creating. Imagine this team actually getting off the field on third down. It's not a dream. It's possible, but only if Jerry pulls the trigger. And he must, because the clock is ticking. The remaining schedule isn't kind. We've got the Cardinals and Raiders coming up, games that can and should be wins. But then it gets real. Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, 3 playoff contenders, 3 powerhouse offenses. And right now, this defense isn't remotely ready. That's why this trade must happen before the deadline. We don't have the luxury of waiting. If Dallas is serious about making a run, and they should be, then it's go time. And let's not forget, we've got 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years. We have ammo. We have flexibility. We don't need to mortgage the future. We just need smart, aggressive moves. Will McDonald is that move. And while we're at it, don't rule out other reinforcements. Reports have linked Dallas to Trey Hendrickson, Jeffrey Simmons, and Patrick Surtain. Some of those names may be harder to acquire, but they signal one thing loud and clear. This front office knows defense is the issue. It's time to follow through. Let's talk scheme for a second. Defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus has struggled badly. His system, designed around discipline and zone coverage, just hasn't clicked with the personnel. We've seen communication breakdowns, poor tackling, and blown coverages every week. Receivers running wide open like it's 7-on-7 drills. We need more than a player. We need a spark. Could Will McDonald be that spark? Absolutely. Could he turn this into a top 15 unit overnight? Probably not, but that's not the goal. We don't need elite. We just need competent. Give this offense a defense that ranks middle of the pack, and we're a legit NFC title contender. And look, Cowboys fans have every right to be skeptical. We've seen this team tease greatness before, but the talent is real, the urgency is real, and the moment is now. Cowboys Nation, we want to hear from you. Do you want Will McDonald in Dallas? Should Jerry trade picks for immediate help? Or do you think we need to go even bigger? Let your voice be heard in the comments. Smash that like button if you believe in this team. Subscribe to Dallas Game Day for breaking news, bold takes, and everything Cowboys all season long. This channel is for you, the fans. Let's ride this storm together. Because the star deserves better, the fans deserve better, and the time to act is now.